Sketches Series 12. Today's sketch is from Shannon from Scrapping with Shannon. And it's a 2-page layout if that's how you want to interpret it. So I definitely wanted to do something like that. The two last kits that I have both had more than enough pictures to go ahead and create something with lots of pictures and spread it across 2 pages. But this one had more pictures, and I just felt like the little bits and pieces that were in it would probably work well to kind of recreate this sketch. So I'm changing things up a little bit. Instead of having the strips going straight across both sides of the layout from one end all the way to the other, I have this rainbow paper, and so I thought I'd go ahead and kind of keep it together and stick it right in the center, and that could kind of represent those stripes. And then I will try to figure out how to place my pictures to kind of generally go in the same area as the pictures in the sketch. So the pictures that I have here is one that is 4x4. So that's my largest one. That is a picture that someone made for me in the Rare Diseases Facebook group that I belong to. And so it was just kind of celebrating my little guy on Rare Disease Day. And then I have 2 of the little ads, I guess you could call them, from Rare Disease Day. And then right now I'm also throwing in there the Calgary Tower all lit up for World Epilepsy Awareness Day. So it was glowing purple. And then I also have the cerebral palsy little banner that I put on Facebook. So kind of encompassing all of his stuff, I guess you could call it. And that's sort of where I was going with this layout originally. In my head, I kind of thought I would do a post kind of just, I guess, documenting. Can you hear my dishwasher? Sorry, the dishes are done and it sings to me. Just documenting the journey that he's been on with his 2 rare neurological conditions, and then the cerebral palsy diagnosis and epilepsy diagnosis so far. And so that's sort of what I was leaning towards, and I was going to try to encompass all of them, but I felt like it was just really crowded. And in my head, I thought that I would have more than enough space on this particular size of a layout to try to make each of the pictures the same size by matting them and adding embellishments and stuff like that, because they're all different sizes, as you could see. But it just wasn't coming together. I fiddled around a lot more than I actually showed in the video, because I couldn't figure out how to place the pictures, where they were going to look right, how to kind of, I don't know, make them all have the same weight to them so that I could just balance them across the layout. But I don't know, it just wasn't coming together. And so I'm definitely going to refer back to the sketch a few times, but I'm giving it my own little twist. So for starters, the layout that I'm creating is actually 8.5 by 11, so 2 8.5 by 11 pages. So that's a little bit different from the 12 by 12. And then I'm going to have one page that is sort of like the sketch. So the page on the right hand side, you can see sort of how I have the photos lined up. And then my left side is going to be a little bit different. I'm just going to take that up with one photo, the larger photo here. I'm going to mat it so that it has all the different colors of the rainbow from all the papers that I pulled out, those 6x6 papers that I pulled out to put into my kit. And yeah, I'm just going to kind of let that one be the main attraction of the the left hand side of the page. I also got rid of the epilepsy photos and the CP photos, and I'm just going to document Rare Diseases Day. And I will do a little bit more journaling to go along with that. I'm not actually including it here But you'll see where I kind of leave a spot for journaling, and I'll just go ahead and add some of my thoughts. It's definitely been a journey for us. And yeah, so I need to take time and maybe reflect a little bit on what exactly I want to kind of write. So this is the general design now that I'm going with. Very inspired by, but not exactly like the sketch. So I also have to admit, I was trying to use up as many of the little bits and pieces that I added into my page kit. And I thought that I'd be able to kind of use those to make a little bit more of a grid, kind of like in the sketch. And that's what wasn't really coming together, I feel like, was being able to use all of those elements. So this gives me an opportunity to pick out a few of them. There's definitely a lot left in the kit, but that's okay. I think I do a pretty good job of putting a good dent in the kit. There isn't a ton of stuff left over. It's mostly all scraps. And I do use some of the pieces that maybe I wasn't sure I would end up using, like that hooray piece right there. It's not really a sentiment on its own that maybe you would use in a layout that talks about challenges and things like that. But it kind of goes with the little sentiment that I'm going to put up there in that open space. That's also where I'm going to do a little bit of my journaling. And so it will end up kind of just being left open. And so, yeah, I've got all my pictures down. I did mat the 2 square photos. I also matted the little tag that's on that right hand side to make it look like it's actually a card. So it kind of matches the beautiful card that is in the top right hand corner. And then I just found all of my little pieces that I could kind of tuck in. Oh, Arlo's meowing because Kaylin just left. He always feels so left out when Kaylin leaves the house. But yeah, I just wanted to have a few little layers and kind of tuck things in. In the sketch, the embellishment, it's kind of represented by some stars and it's scattered all over. And I picked out a lot of black elements to put into the kit because I felt like the black and the white obviously really helps to make all of the rainbow colors pop. And so those are the ones I kind of gravitated to. I didn't use everything that I put in the kit. Again, there was a lot of stuff. This is definitely a kit that I filled up, but I did pull out a lot of those blacks and whites and kind of prioritized them and found places for them above some of the other things. I also had a lot of elements that had words on them because I sort of thought that this was the sketch that I would pair with this particular kit. And so I thought if I needed to create that same sort of grid that she has with all the smaller pictures kind of going across both pages in like 2 rows, I thought I could fill in some of those gaps with cards and words and that type of thing. And so that's sort of where my head was at when I was putting the kit together. But then actually taking all of the pictures and trying to make what was in my head and what is on the sketch match what my supplies were and what the pictures looked like, it wasn't working out the way that I kind of thought it would. So I put my own little spin on it, and I think that that's the beauty of a sketch. It kind of gives you this idea and then you take it in the direction that's going to work best with the story you're trying to tell, the pictures you're documenting, and the supplies that you are using. So it was a great jumping off point. This page definitely looks a lot more like the sketch than the other page, and I think the 2 of them work really good together. I chose the green and the purple background. If you haven't watched my video where I put the kits together, I chose those 2 colors specifically because during Rare Disease Day, the Calgary Tower actually glows purple and green, kind of 2 of the colors that they pull out for Rare Diseases Day, and they do a light up the world kind of thing, where lots of national, what is the word I'm looking for? Lots of places across the world, like the Calgary Tower, the CN Tower here in Canada, the Sydney Opera House, places like that, big monuments in each country will light up with purple and green to kind of honor that particular day. So that's where the two colors of background paper came from. They were already 8.5 by 11 from Cardstock Warehouse, and then the rainbow just kind of fit in there. And then all the supplies that I pulled out came from that rainbow of color, and trying to just spread out the color as much as possible. So that's where all of these pieces came from. They're all literally just bits and pieces from different collections. They're in my little iris container that I keep, that has all the little bits and pieces left over from my sampler packs. So I don't have full sets of any of these pieces of ephemera. Some of them are pieces I've cut out of larger papers, that kind of thing. And so I just really like to go through that iris container and see what's there, and pick and choose fun little elements. So that's where everything came from. And then I'm just going to finish it off with some of these sequins. They're black and white. Some of them are black with white dots, and some of them are white with black dots. But I thought, again, it's that great contrast of the black and white that pairs with the rainbow colors and really makes those colors pop and look extra vibrant. So I wanted to have my sequins really pop as well. So I added those. Those are from Spiegel Mom Scraps. And then a little splatter here of some gold, because there is a little bit of gold glitter in one of the elements that I chose, that I kind of layered in behind my photo on the left hand side. So I wanted to bring a little bit more gold in just to kind of match that. And my final step, because I just felt like it needed it, I'm going to go ahead and do my sketchy outline. I'm actually going to do it with a white paint pen, and then I'm also going to use my black Sharpie, so you get the black and white again. And I just feel like this finishes it off. It gives it a bit of a border. It kind of holds it all in place. And that is it. That is my layout for day 23. So all the links are down below to all the ladies who play along with the Build-A-Page series. You can go and see their kits and all the layouts they've been creating. And then, of course, all of the links are also down below for 30 days of sketches, including the master link with the master playlist, where you can see all of the videos from day one all through the month of June. So please go and click on that. You aren't going to regret it. There's tons of inspiration. And that's it for me. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And until next time, happy scrapping.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks to me. She button to my channel.